So the first misconception is the name of the exercise. Since 1935 it's always been called the turn in the road exercise. They've not changed the name to the 3-point turn. It's always been the turn in the road. Okay, so this is how many people are taught the turn in the road exercise. You won't fail a driving test doing it in this way. You may potentially get some minors, although actually you shouldn't get a minor for dry steering if you look in Annex 6 of the DT1. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 6-point check. A lot of driving instructors teach a 6-point check, so I'm looking right the way around the left hand side of the car. This is the left hand side of the car. So that is not an effective observation. It is not necessary to do a 6-point check on every manoeuvre. It is not all-round observations, it is effective observations. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the steering wheel all the way to the right lock. I've not even moved the vehicle, but I've put the steering wheel all the way on right lock. The interesting thing about that is if I'm doing this manoeuvre in a wide road and I put the steering wheel all the way to the right, I'm not going to do a turn in the road, I'm going to do a U-turn in the middle of the road. Okay, now you won't be able to see this now. I'm going to move the vehicle all the way across the road and I'm just using the clutch. So there's no gas set at all now. As I come into the curb, bring the vehicle to a halt now, and I'm turning the steering wheel again now, all the way to the left. Hill start, reverse, looking over my left shoulder in the direction of travel, through the rear window. Now I'm going all the way back to the other side. Now I'm stopping at the reference point, securing the vehicle. Now I'm turning the steering wheel now, right the way around to the right with the vehicle stationary, looking up and down the road, and now I'm moving off. The likelihood is on that is that you may or may not receive a minor, but you should pass the driving test. In the gear, set the gas. Effective observations around the vehicle. Select the correct amount of steering necessary to go across the road, so it's not necessarily full lock. As you come close, turn the steering wheel in the opposite direction to give yourself some opposite lock. Secure the vehicle into reverse. Observations all the way around. Find the biking point at the hill start, over the left shoulder, looking in the direction of travel. So you come across the road now over the right shoulder. As you get close to the reference point, start to put the counter steer or turn the steering wheel in the opposite direction. Handbrake on, into neutral, into first gear, hill start, up and down the road, now steer in the correct direction. The lack of counter steer won't make much difference when you're doing a turn in the road exercise on a driving test. But the purpose of the exercise is to enable you to manoeuvre the vehicle in confined spaces. If you're manoeuvring the vehicle in a very confined space and you don't use counter steer, or you're doing a turn in the road in a very narrow road and you don't use counter steer, then you will not be able to complete the manoeuvre successfully. A couple of other points to bear in mind on the turn in the road. If a vehicle comes, do not stop in the middle of the road. If the road is wide enough for the exercise to be completed in 3, complete the leg of the exercise that you are on, which will enable the vehicle that's waiting in either direction to go behind you or in front of you, depending on where you are. If you stop in the middle of the road, you've blocked the entire road. Secondly, waving people on. It's perfectly acceptable if it's a clear road and you've taken effective observations to wave somebody on. Anyway, this has just been a short video. I hope that's been of some use.